Vegan, no blood on your hands.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Нашите предавания предлагат много езици. Моля вижте suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Eighth Karmapa not only forbade meat eating in the Great Encampment, but also encouraged vegetarianism all over Tibet. Please keep watching to find out more.
Genpa Lakso means welcome in Dzongkha. Bhutanese people say this as a warm-hearted greeting to everyone they meet. I am Dorji. The pious people pray that Buddha's love and divine blessings be with you and your loved ones always. Tibetan Buddhism is a religion with a rich cultural heritage that emerged from a wide range of spiritual practices. These include the complete scope of the Buddha's teachings from the Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana traditions. Different schools belonging to Tibetan Buddhism today include the Nyingma, founded by Padmasambhava, Kagyu, founded by Tilopa, Sakya, founded by Koncho Gyalpo and his son Sachen Kunga Ningpo, and Gelug, founded by Songkhapa Lobsang Drakpa. The teachings of Tibetan Buddhism focus on mindfulness of death and the ephemeral nature of life, leading to diligence in meditation and spiritual practice. Mandalas, prayer flags, and thangka paintings are visual reminders for practitioners on the path. Vegetarianism in Tibetan Buddhism is not new. However, many people still mistakenly align vegetarianism in Tibet to modernization. In fact, numerous great ancient Tibetan Buddhist masters such as Norchi Kunga Jongpo, Dolpopa Shirab Gyaltsin, 4th Karmapa, 8th Karmapa, Patral Rinpoche advocated vegetarianism. More recent masters like Satral Sanjay Dorje Rinpoche and the 17th Karmapa also preach likewise. His Holiness the 17th Karmapa Ojin Trinle Doji is the spiritual head of the 900-year-old Karma Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. The title Karmapa is accorded to the one who performs the activities on behalf of the Buddha, and the Karmapa lineage itself is recognized for putting Buddhist principles into action. Galwang Karmapa has stressed the importance of preserving Tibetan culture, unity, language, and literacy, which is critical for the Dharma in Tibet. His Holiness wrote and produced several plays combining traditional Tibetan opera with modern theatre. The first play he wrote, about the life of the great Tibetan yogi Milarepa, attracted about 20,000 spectators in its debut performance in 2010 in Bodh Gaya, India. Despite having been brought up as a meat eater in a nomadic family in Tibet, His Holiness subsequently abandoned meat and firmly encouraged others to stop buying, making, and eating meat. The 17th Karmapa believes strongly in compassion, loving kindness, women's rights, vegetarianism, and caring for Mother Earth as universal values. In one of his talks on vegetarianism given on January 3, 2007, at the 24th annual Great Kaju Mollan, Bodh Gaya, India, His Holiness directed all his followers to adhere to vegetarianism. Any monastery that belongs to Kamsang Kaju, the monastery kitchen cannot and should not make any food with meat. And if you bring meat and cook it in the monastery kitchen, then that means that you are not taking me as your teacher. You are not belonging to Kama Kaju, and there is nothing to discuss about that. That's finished. That is very important. We will now share with you excerpts from His Holiness' speeches on vegetarianism and previous Karmapas who were strict vegetarians. A few years ago, at one of the Kaju Mollans, I spoke about the topic of vegetarianism giving up eating meat. You could say it was an announcement, but it was really like making a suggestion. Since then, many years have passed, and over the years, I have heard people say various things. Some people have even said, "Oh, Ojin Trinle Doji says that if you don't give up eating meat, then you are not a Kajupa." Now, it actually wasn't me who said that. It was the 8th Karmapa Mache Doji who said that. So it wasn't my idea. And it's not like I said you better give up meat or else you are not a Kajupa. The 4th Karmapa founded the Karma Kaju Great Encampment with stringent rules that forbade consumption of meat and alcohol. If they saw anyone with meat or bones, they would automatically criticize them. They would not allow any meat or alcohol in the encampment at all. The behavior of his students was even stricter than that. Great Encampment Rules. In general, the encampment had very strict rules on meat. They did not begin these rules during the time of the 8th Karmapa. They were ancient rules established long prior to that by previous Karmapas. How do we know this? There is a text by the 9th Karmapa Wangchuk Dorji called the Great Rule Book for the Encampment, the Ornament of the World, which says that the examples of Dujong Langpa, 5th Karmapa, Deji Sheppa, 6th Karmapa, Thongwa Donden, and 7th Karmapa, Chodrak Gyatso are similar. In particular, they gathered only monastics around them. Those that were included in the encampment could not have any meat, not even so much as the hair of a deer, nor drink any alcohol, even as much as a tip on a blade of grass. They performed untold actions of the higher states and many customs of Sutra and Tantra and of the true traditions. Afterwards, Mache Doji did not waver from such deeds and examples. Not only that, he also brought practitioners of these teachings into the methods of having revulsion for worldly activities and teaching debate and composition. He established new monastic communities, built statues, praised his students, and wrote treatises beyond our conception. He guided his students to have confidence in our own and the oceans of the other schools. His influence and kindness are indescribable. What this says is that during the time of Rolpa Doje or Dujong Langpa, Deji Sheppa and Thongwa Denden and Chodrak Gyatso, those 4 Karmapas, there was no meat, not even the hair of a deer, and no alcohol that could fit on the tip of blade of grass were allowed in the encampment. Liberation stories on 4th Karmapa composed by his students. What clear and reliable sources do we have that these rules originated at the time of 4th Karmapa? In the liberation story of 4th Karmapa, Delighting the Scholars, written by Karma Konchen, it states clearly that the entourage and the people around him lived off the 3 white foods. If the masters and disciples saw the bones of slaughtered animals where people had stayed, they would reprimand people. Even a whiff of alcohol was not allowed, and he brought everyone into pure conduct within the encampment. There is also a life story written by the 4th Karmapa's student, Charpa Kumpangpa, which says that there was no way even the tiniest bit of meat or the mere scent of alcohol could be in the encampment. It says that his conduct was the perfection of purity and the power of his compassion extremely great. When people gathered in the hundreds of thousands at the most, or the minimum 500, the greatest developed samatha and insight, some developed certainty and the meaning of the words. Even the least continually recited mantras to give up the killing of sentient beings and to recite the names of the Buddhas. This example of benefiting beings is inconceivable. So during the life of Rolpa Dorje, liberation stories by his direct disciples describe this very clearly, and these are good sources. 8th Karmapa Mache Dorje's strict views on meat eating. Likewise, if you read the 8th Karmapa's commentary on the Vinaya, the orbit of the sun that clearly illuminates the world, it states that when doing the Gator and Mahakal rituals at the end of the year, meat should not be included in those offerings. He not only banned eating meat in the great encampment, but he promoted vegetarianism to Tibetans all over Tibet. In the index of the 8 Karmapa's collected works, there is also an advice to Tibetans as to why it is inappropriate to eat the meat of defenseless animals. Thus, we can see that the 8th Karmapa not only forbade meat eating in the great encampment, but also encouraged vegetarianism all over Tibet.
But 现在西藏和尚很多吃素了，在印度也好几个团体改吃素了啊，跟着达赖喇嘛了啊，对呀，达赖喇嘛已经吃素了，大家都应该一起吃素，全西藏要吃素的，别谈了，别问了，别什么犹豫了哈，都是和尚都要全部跟着达赖喇嘛吃素，然后人民的那个信佛教全部都跟着和尚一起吃素，是对的，是吗？是，这样才说虔诚的徒弟，是吗？怎么师父吃素，然后徒弟不吃素是怎么样嘛？啊，是啊，啊，达赖喇嘛是最大的那个西藏的名师嘛，有没有啊？佛在世的，如果他吃素的话，他的所有底下的和尚应该全部通通吃素，不用再谈了，是吗？然后他们底下的和尚一直说，部下的和尚啊，小小一点位置的和尚全部吃素的，的话。那他们徒弟们应该也跟着一起吃素才对了，还要谈什么嘛？是不是？是啊，一天到晚拜达赖喇嘛，然后他吃素，你就吃肉，是拜什么？是吗？不合道理。
大宝法王30年以前就非常坚决的说，他的弟子必须吃素，不吃素就不是他弟子。
对了，佛也是这样讲，你吃肉就不是我徒弟就对了。佛以前有这样说，太好了啊，太好了。
Attentive viewers, we are appreciative and thankful to you for joining us for today's program on Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of this program. May Buddha's divinity bring you bliss and happiness always.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Vegan leader, someone you can rely on.